BizAgi allows you to easily diagram your processes based on the BPMN standard notation. You can also make complex diagrams containing multiple processes. Once your process diagrams are ready, you can create their documentation in PDF or Word files. Additionally, BizAgi allows you to publish the documentation of your processes to the web, SharePoint and Wiki. You can surf through the resulting process documentation and search for important information.
Collaboration allows multiple users to work together on a model during the process design phase and ensuring the best quality in the process definition. Users can change and improve the process flow, run online discussions with other team members and enter comments. Changes to the process are visible in real time by all participants.
With the BizAgi Process Modeler, not only can you diagram and document your process, you can also execute it. Just click on the Run button. This takes your process to the BizAgi BPM suite, where you will find a wizard that will guide you step by step to easily turn your process into a running application with no programming. Thank you for your interest in BizAgi, the solution preferred by BPM experts. BizAgi allows the creation of multiple diagrams. To start diagramming, change the name of the pool, double-click on the pool and enter the desired text. The palette contains different shapes to facilitate the process diagram. The shapes comply with the BPMN notation. Tasks are rounded rectangles and represent work performed by an organization. A task can be atomic or non-atomic. Events are circles with open centers. They represent something that happens during the course of a process. These events affect the flow of the process and usually have a cause or a result. There are three different types of events based on when they affect the flow: start, intermediate and end. Gateways are diamonds. These elements are used to control the divergence and convergence of the sequence flow. This is a travel request process where an employee requests a flight ticket and hotel reservation. The boss approves it. The administrative department handles bookings and the employee registers all expenses. Drag the desired element and drop it onto the point of the diagram where you wish to locate it. Use the pie menu to easily diagram the flow sequence. Select the desired object and move it to the point on the flowchart where you wish to locate it. If two objects are not connected through a sequence flow, select an object from the pie menu and drag it to the other object. The two objects will then be connected. To change the size of your pool, drag the pool's corner until you reach the desired size. To edit the description of any element, double-click on the element and enter the desired text. An exclusive gateway represents a flow point where there are two or more alternative paths, but only one of them is valid. Here, the boss will approve or reject the travel request. To select the type of event, task or gateway to be used, right-click on the element and select the shape type. An inclusive gateway is a point on the path where several paths can be activated. The employee may need a flight and a hotel. An inclusive gateway, as a convergence element, represents a point in the process where previously activated paths should converge. The modeler allows you to change objects within the same category. Right-click on the element, select the transform option, and then the required object. A subprocess is a non-atomic task that is included within a process. It is compound because it contains its own set of tasks in a logical sequence. Right-click on the subprocess shape and select the Edit option of the subprocess. It will automatically open a new diagram page to include the subprocess information. On this page, you can diagram or modify the associated subprocess. Parallel gateways indicate the points in the process where tasks can be executed in parallel. A parallel gateway, as a convergence point, is used to synchronize parallel paths. In this process, approving the report and reviewing policies can be executed in parallel. To align objects, select the objects and move to the Format tab. Select the option Align Horizontal or Vertical according to your case. An intermediate event represents something that happens somewhere between the start and end of a process. It will affect the flow of the process, but will not start or terminate it. An intermediate event can be used to handle exceptions. This can be done by including an intermediate event on the boundary of a task. Right-click on the task or sub-process, and under the Attach Event option, select the desired event type. A timer intermediate event represents a waiting time within the process. In this case, if the expenses are not registered, the boss will perform a follow-up. After analyzing the diagram, you may need to modify the type of object used. To do this, right-click on the object and select the type of object required. A service task is a task performed by the system without human intervention. In this case, the approved expenses will be sent to the company's payroll system. You can navigate between diagrams by selecting the Diagram tab at the foot of the modeler. The different sequence flows are defined within the standards such as conditional or default flow. In the expense follow-up, the boss might need to request a change or some action by the employee. Then, two sequence flows will be included through the Advanced tab. One default flow where no changes are necessary, and the other will have a condition defining the action required by the boss. Right-click on the gateway and select Properties. You can define the conditions for the sequence flow under the Advanced tab. You can set a condition or a default sequence flow. There are some attributes for each figure within the BPMN standard. These attributes are used for the implementation of the process. Right-click on the figure and select the Properties option to enter the attributes. Some BPMN properties can be found in the Basic and Advanced Property tabs. For example, the timer will give the employee 3 days to enter the expenses before the boss takes action. Another example of these attributes is the definition of multiple instances for a sub-process. In the Advanced tab of the sub-process properties, you can define the condition for multiple instances, which includes the way in which they are going to be performed, sequential or in parallel. If you like the BizAgi Process Modeler, register in our community. Only registered users receive online support, expert advice and updated documentation. Join thousands of BPMN experts from more than 150 countries who are already enjoying these benefits. You can register at any time. Just fill out the form. Thank you for your interest in BizAgi.
Go beyond process modeling. With BizAgi, you can go beyond modeling and turn your process maps into running process applications without programming. To better illustrate this concept, let us consider the vacation leave request process as an example. John is an employee of a multinational corporation. To request leave, he goes to BizAgi's work portal and starts a new vacation leave request. He enters all the necessary information and clicks on Next to submit it. BizAgi automatically creates a task for his boss Michael for his approval. Michael reviews the information and in this case approves the request. Upon approval, a confirmation email is sent to John and the payroll system is automatically updated. And that's it. This is an example of a process application created with BizAgi without programming. But how does this work? BizAgi is not just the process modeler. The modeler is the first of the 3 modules of our BPM suite. BizAgi Studio is the second module. It helps you turn the process maps defined in the process modeler into running applications. The third module, BizAgi's BPM server, executes the application built in BizAgi Studio and ensures that everything works according to the design. Our BPM suite offers all you need. You start with the BizAgi Process Modeler. It lets you draw and document your process maps under the BPMN standard notation. It is very easy to use and intuitive, as you can see from the vacation leave request process. In this process, an employee registers a vacation request. First, the system checks in the payroll system for the available vacation days. Based on this number, the employee decides whether or not to continue with the request. If vacations are requested, the employee's boss will have to approve them, reject them, or request changes. If approved, the employee will be notified via email, and the payroll system will be automatically updated before the process finishes. Once you are done with the process map, just click on the Run Workflow button to pass the process to the BizAgi Studio, where a friendly wizard will walk you through all the necessary steps to turn your process map into a running application. Let's see how the vacation leave request application was built. The first step is model the process. We have already built our process map in the BizAgi Process Modeler. The definition of the data model is the second step. Here you define the information required by the process: employee's name, number of available vacation days, number of requested days, approval decision, etc. The third step is to design the user interface. Our intuitive forms designer allows you to easily drag and drop the information for display to end users in the web application. No programming required. Business rules are defined in the fourth step of the process wizard. These rules are used to make business decisions, control process flow, and make calculations. The fifth step is to assign resources or performers. In this step, we define work allocation criteria to make sure work is allocated to the right person. Here, we defined that the approver of an employee's vacation request is the employee's boss. The sixth step is the integration. In this step, we connect the process to existing applications using web services. In our example, the integration is with the payroll system. And that's it! Just click on Run to execute the application we just built, which is the same one we saw at the beginning of this video. So what are you waiting for? Go beyond process modeling. Just download BizAgi BPM Suite from our website and test drive a free and fully functional evaluation copy.
This quick tour shows how people collaborate using the BizAgi Process Modeler. Collaborative process modeling allows teams and people to work together in the definition of a process, driving innovation and delivering efficiency across organizations. In this demo, we'll show you how we collaborate in our organization. For this video, assume that Andrea works in the administrative department. She is in charge of purchases for the company in the headquarters located in New York. She has designed the purchase request process and needs help from a team member called Mark, so that he can review the model and contribute with ideas to improve it. Mark is working in London and has agreed to collaborate with her. All Andrea has to do is share the model in a shared location where other users can access it. It can be shared in her computer, a file server, or in the cloud, as in this case. She will collaborate using Dropbox. Andrea has invited Mark to join her. All he has to do is open the shared model with the process modeler so that they can start working together. Andrea will start entering some comments and initiate a discussion to improve the process. She tells Mark about her process and her questions, and that she knows he has worked with purchase orders before, so now his help is needed. Mark receives Andrea's comments immediately and writes back to her. He is going to help with the diagram. Before Mark starts making changes to the diagram, he reserves it for editing by clicking the Edit Diagram button. He clicks on Edit Diagram to include the activities that are missing on the design. As long as he is working on the diagram, it remains read-only for other users. Once he has finished, he then releases the diagram by clicking on Release Diagram. Now Andrea receives notification informing her that Mark has made some changes. She checks them out. Andrea agrees with the changes. Her process is now complete. A model consists of multiple diagrams, and the edit lock works at the diagram level, so there can be several people working at the same time on a model. Users can also work offline on the model. Andrea asked Pete to update the diagram with information of the new activities they created, but Pete is going on a business trip, so he will update them offline. Before he leaves, he clicks on the Edit Diagram to lock the process for everyone else. He leaves for his trip, and on the plane he makes his changes. Finally, he releases the diagram. Whenever he is back again online, the process will be synchronized automatically, and Andrea will receive notification informing her of the changes so that she can review them. If Pete hadn't locked the diagram and had made changes whilst on his business trip, there might be conflicts, as someone else may have changed the diagram in the meantime. In these cases, BizAgi Process Modeler handles the conflict smoothly and shows the differences in a graphical way.
Before you start using collaboration, we highly recommend watching our video entitled Collaboration Explained. Thank you for your interest in BizAgi, the solution preferred by BPM experts.
This video will explain in detail how to work with collaborative process modeling with the BizAgi Process Modeler. Collaboration allows multiple users to work together on a model during the process design phase, achieving greater participation of team members and ensuring the best quality in the process definition. Users can change and improve the process flow, run online discussions with other team members, and enter comments. Changes to the process are visible in real time by all participants. This video is divided into 3 parts. The first is Collaboration Basics, where you will learn how to share your models and how to collaborate with your team. The second part is about working offline and resolving conflicts. In the final part, we give some recommendations for your collaborative work. Collaboration Basics. For this video, we will assume that Andrea works in the administrative department of her company. She has been working on the travel request process, which is a .bpm file. She needs to share her model to collaborate with someone in her team, so that they can review the model and contribute with ideas to improve it. To share her model, she clicks on the Share Model button. A wizard helps her find a shared location in which to save the model, where the people she needs can access it. When she shares the model, BizAgi creates a new model with a .bpmc extension. The C is for collaboration. Then, she needs to give permission to the people she will collaborate with to enable them to access the location where the model is created. Models can be shared on a cloud-based location, directly on your computer, or on the file server of your organization. Andrea will share her model on the cloud via Dropbox. When the model is saved in the shared location, she invites Mark to access the file. If you are collaborating in Windows, you can share your files using the Windows Share folder option. Mark can now open the .bpmc file created for collaboration. Notice there is a folder created with the same name as the .bpmc file. This folder contains internal files used for collaborating. Please avoid manipulating this folder. Once they are both in the model, they can work concurrently on the same model. They can start talking to each other by text messages in the comments window. Messages are sent in real time. As soon as someone types a comment and clicks on Enter, a new comment will be displayed for everyone to see. Users can also leave their comments for everyone else to review later. Comments work similar to Twitter. Comments have 3 levels: model, diagram, and element, so that users can comment independently according to what they wish to express. Firstly, we have the comments for the whole model that apply for all the diagrams. These comments are found in the Diagrams tab. On the other hand, you can enter comments at the diagram level to run a discussion that only applies to that particular diagram. Finally, you can enter comments that are local to a single element within the process. Andrea asked Mark to help her with a specific diagram, expenses report, so they will move to the Diagrams tab and have their discussion about it. Mark reviews the diagram and tells her that all the activities of the administration manager are missing, and he will make the changes. Initially, all diagrams are read-only for everyone. To change or update a diagram, it is necessary to click on the Edit Diagram button. This will enable Mark to perform any changes on the diagram, and for everyone else, the diagram will be blocked. When he is finished, he clicks on the Release Diagram button. As he does this, everyone receives a notification on the bottom of the screen telling them that there has been a change in a specific diagram. Andrea receives the notification and she updates the model. Now she can see the changes Mark performed. However, she feels that the last activity should have some additional changes. So she right-clicks on the shape and includes element comments for Mark to see. Again, if they need to change the diagram, one of them must edit it, and for the other one, the diagram will be blocked. He receives the notification and sees the comments. There is a button available for everyone to see what changes have been made to the model. A window will display the people, dates and times that the process was released. Working offline. Users can also work offline in the collaboration models. In this case, Andrea is going on a business trip and will update the expenses report diagram on the plane. She will work on her local copy of the .bpmc model that Dropbox created on her computer. She clicks on the Edit Diagram button, performs the required changes, and then clicks on the Release Diagram again. As soon as she is back online, the process will be synchronized automatically. Working offline, resolving conflicts. Suppose Andrea changed the diagram while she was offline and Mark, being online, made some changes of his own. As she comes back online and synchronizes, a new window will be displayed informing her that there are conflicts. There will be two diagrams, one in blue and one in red. The blue one is the diagram of the person synchronizing. There are two buttons on the left, so Andrea can see the diagrams independently and analyze which one to keep, just as in Word or Excel. The person who is synchronizing, in this case Andrea, must decide what to do with the conflict. She has two options. She can keep Mark's online version, or she can keep her offline version. She can always create a copy of the diagram that was not chosen. Other instructions and recommendations. Once you have finished collaborating, that is, your process design is finished, you can save your model as a .bpm again, in the location where you have all your processes saved. Your collaboration models should be shared where people in your organization can access them. If your company uses a file server, your models should be shared there. If your company doesn't use a file server and you have internet access, you can share your models for collaboration in any file hosting server, like Dropbox. If you don't have a file server and you don't have access to the internet, then you can share your models on your own computer using Windows Share Folder option. You can customize your user profile with your name and picture. Click on the Tools option and select User Profile. Change the name, nickname and picture and click OK to save the changes. User profiles are defined locally for each computer. If you work on more than one computer with the BizAgi Process Modeler, then you should customize your profile in each of them.
You can define categories and assign them to the comments to provide order and focus on the information you need. Categories can be renamed to identify different topics by clicking on Edit Categories. You can assign a category to comments made by you. When there are comments with categories, they can be filtered. You can remove the filters and also clean categorized comments. Thank you for your interest in BizAgi. the solution preferred by BPM experts.